By day, you work at a job that simply doesn't satisfy you. It's likely not a career, but simply a job. It pays the bills. It puts food on the table. But it doesn't light a fire inside of you. It doesn't fill you with a sense of, I can do it. It just is. But then there's the nighttime, when the rest of the world winds down. In the late, dark hours of the evening, a creative fire gets stoked inside you. The wheels of your brain kick in, the ideas start flowing. You feel a sense of excitement and adventure. You're doing what you know you're meant to do. And yet, there's a loneliness to it all. You work in isolation while others sleep. You wish you had people to bounce your ideas off of, a shoulder to lean on when something goes wrong. Others to applaud your achievements, no matter how big or small. People to encourage you to follow your dreams and goals. Solopreneurs, dreamers, builders, creators, resellers, makers, problem solvers. Like-minded people who want something better. We're here, and we're ready to listen and to help. Welcome to the night shift.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Another work week survived for most of us. That if you work on Monday through Friday, then congrats. If you work a weird schedule and you don't have Monday through Friday, and you never actually have a real set day off, my apologies. It's probably just another day for you. But welcome back to the diner. Welcome back to the night shift, and welcome to the Friday night hang. The Friday night hang is just a place to be able to hang out, talk about your past week, talk about your wins, talk about your losses, talk about just kind of whatever's on your mind, whatever you're feeling, whatever happened to you this week. This is the place to come and chat about it. People that can understand where you're at, what you've been doing, and kind of meet you where you are. I am on day 2 of a working vacation. I decided to take a week off from the day job, and rather than go anywhere and do anything, I decided I was going to take that week off, but focus all on everything having to do with the publishing house. So I've been enormously productive, strangely enough, which is really rare for me. I've been really, really productive for the last 2 days. I have gotten an amazing number of book covers done. I've got books published within the last couple days. So, yeah, there's 2 short story collections from Marilyn Todd that are hitting the shelves right now. Burning Desire and Other Stories, and The Wickedest Town in the West and Other Stories, both of which are short story collections from Maryland. As a matter of fact, I will bring up, let me pull up those covers. I can show you all the covers because that's half the fun. So let me just jump in here to my author folder here. And so Marilyn Todd, and here's the cover for Burning Desire. So Burning Desire and Other Stories, that's one of the books that I published today. Ebook should be available. Ebook should start to be available everywhere as of today. Certainly available in ebook and paperback from the whitecitypress.com shop. Far less expensive when you buy from us directly than if you buy through a retailer. Plus, we get to keep more of the money. So that's Burning Desire. And then the other short story collection I published from her today. Grab that file. Marilyn Todd, and this is The Wickedest Town in the West. And that's the other book that came out today, Wickedest Town in the West. and Other Stories from Marilyn Todd. Again, another great short story collection. This one is going to be uh, this one has a couple of both collections have award-winning stories in them. Stories have been published previously in magazines like Ellery Queen, things like that. So again, if you get the paperback through whitecitypress.com/shop, you'll actually save like $4 or $5 off of buying it through a regular reseller, and we give 50% off. I mean, we give free shipping on all of our paperbacks. So, and then I've been working on a bunch of book covers, and this is, I think, probably my favorite that I've done all this week, or the last couple days, rather. This one is for Ray Tabler's book that's coming out, and uh, I love this cover. Do 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 do. Ooh, I think it's coming up. Nope, it is not. Oh well, I guess I won't be sharing that one. I think because it's in a PNG file and it's not. I haven't converted over to JPEG yet. But yeah, so first 2 days were pretty productive. I'm kind of moving into an editing phase now where I'm doing some proofreading and some copy editing and getting some books together that way. And still have that goal of catching everything up by the end of this week off, and hopefully uh, getting a whole bunch of stuff out to publication, and just kind of catching up in general. So that's the goal. Uh, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm thinking I might do a daily vlog for the channel that just kind of catches up on things as I work during the course of the day. I think that might be kind of fun to share with everybody, sort of a behind the scenes look at what goes on uh, putting together these books and putting together a publishing house. Um, I think it'd be kind of fun to share. So, so yeah. Uh, if there's anybody out there that wants to talk about what they've been up to this week, definitely be very happy to see you folks in the chat. Um, I am Tomorrow. I will be on with Johnny Cajun Roots Reseller on his Train Shop Hop. We participate every month. It's a good way for me to be able to interview one of our authors uh, and get them some visibility, get their books some visibility. Uh, Reich Spoor is going to be my guest tomorrow. It's going to be 1:30 Eastern time. So I'm sorry, 1:30 Pacific time. So 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And there's a link to that already here on the Misti Media channel. So be sure to check that out. Find out all about Reich and his writing background, and all about his book that we've recently re-released ahead of a sequel that we're hoping to get out either later this year or by the spring. We have a really, really ambitious release schedule. I've got something like 30 books in the queue, making really good progress. It's just, if this was what I was able to do full time, then that would be amazing. Unfortunately, it's not. Uh, if it was full time, I'd be cranking this stuff out left and right, and we would be soaring forward. But unfortunately, that's just not the option at this point. So taking this week vacation from the day job to get caught up is really good. Everybody's everybody's been kind of pushing me and saying, you really still need to remember that you are technically on a vacation. You should still take some time for yourself. But whenever I'm working on the publishing, it's relaxing. It's what I want to do. I control the pace. I control everything about it. I guess that makes me a control freak. But by the same token, I thoroughly enjoy it. It doesn't feel like work. And I get so caught up and lost in the moment of doing what I'm doing that uh, the time zips by, and I'm like, crud, what happened to the rest of the day? It makes me not want to sleep. Um, because have you ever had that where you're so caught up in something that you're so passionate to be doing and that you love doing so much that you don't get tired. You just don't feel it. Um, that's how I am. Um, I don't like sleep. I don't get more than 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night anyway, and I figure if I'm going to be awake, then I might as well be productive. Michael's here. Hello, Michael. Always good to see you, my friend. I hope you are surviving the torrential downpours that are going down. Tooch, my brother from another mother. Hello, Sir Tooch, the king of 3D printing. Good to see you guys. So, better beverage of choice this week. I don't care. I'm not sponsored. If Pepsi Zero wants to sponsor me, they're more than welcome to. It sure beats last Friday's really horrible Starbucks coffee. Um, so more than happy back on my Pepsi Zero. So Michael and Toochman was just catching folks up on my working vacation this week from the day job to focus on the publishing. What have you guys been up to? Um, how did your work week go? Are you guys going to take some downtime, and relax a bit for the week? Are you doing anything fun? Um, are you what is up? What's going on with you guys? Michael says I have to have a nap during the day to survive. I find when I'm when I'm working at the day job, when I get home at something like 2 o'clock, we have what we call senior citizen dinner. So we kind of have dinner at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. We go and take a nap until 6:30 or so. I get up, I take the furry beast out, give him his dinner, and then I'm back to work again. So, but I think if I didn't have that, I'm with you, Michael. If I didn't have that nap in the middle, I think uh, I would not be functioning correctly. Tooch says he's got the shop hop tomorrow and the normal busy week. Yep, I'm in a good position. I get to always hand off to you, which is awesome. A little tricky now that they've moved up the timing. Um, this will be the last month that we'll be able to be live. Um, Unfortunately, due to the time change of the show, I can't get out of work on Saturdays early enough to get home and get prepared to do it live. So, still want to keep doing the shop up, but we're going to have to switch to a recorded show in order to be able to participate. Tooch says naps are my way of life. Sometimes there's nothing better, my friend. Michael, I just remade Broken People, first one using the Akai MK325 key MIDI controller. 3 weeks. Wow. Good grief, Michael. Well, see, and this is the thing that people don't understand, I think, when everybody gets into a rage fit about AI. They don't understand that there's still other work that gets done around that AI that's still extremely human based. There's still human creativity that goes into a lot of this stuff, and uh, I mean, I wish you were able to leave up your kid video stuff because that stuff's really fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed that stuff. I gotta see if I can bring up this cover again. Maybe I can have a different version of this cover that I can bring up. So I really wanted to show this off to you guys tonight, but I have a feeling StreamYard doesn't allow PNG files. Um, I think it only allows JPEGs. Yeah, it's not coming up. Well, that sucks. I was really excited about this title about this cover that um, spent a lot of time getting exactly right, and then ended up having to merge pieces of the cover from merge pieces from three different cover mock-ups into one to make it exactly the way I wanted it. Um, but it's been a productive. So again, it's day two of my working vacation, and I gotta say, it's been more productive than I could have hoped. Uh, 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 oh yeah. Okay, so see, obviously StreamYard is still fairly new to me. Um, or aspects of it are still new to me. Um, yeah, let me do that. Let me go open that because I am really excited about this cover. I really, really want to share it with people. Um, Actually, why don't I just save it as a JPEG? So uh, we can export as a JPEG. There we go. And that didn't do anything. Okay, then. All right, so let's go back to StreamYard. Yeah, I am all confused now. Oh, there was a time, and see, this is how age catches up, right? So there was a time when it was really easy for me to jump on technology and understand it all, right? And then somehow I reached an age where I caught up to apparently how good I was going to be with technology. And uh, okay, well, I think I'm just going to give up because, oh, wait, nope, now I can do it. There we go. Let me get rid of my banner there. I am in love with this cover. I absolutely love this cover. To me, it's very reminiscent of like old Bane books, uh, science fiction, fantasy kind of covers. I was really wanting to. Uh, if any of you know Robert Asprin, the fantasy author, um, that's I was definitely inspired by him, and I absolutely just love this cover. I think it may be one of the best covers I've ever had in publishing. It's chaotic, and yet the characters are so well represented the way they appear in the book. Um, and the book is funny and so well written, and I'm glad that we were able to get a cover that put together that does the book justice. Um, in all cases, I try to do three mock-ups with covers and uh, share them with the author, and then I get the author to tell me, which one they prefer. 9 times out of 10, we're usually on the same page, which is great. Because I would really hate to publish a book that, and the author be like, I'm not in love with the cover. I don't ever really want to be that guy that, was like, well, I'm the publisher and I'll decide and I get to, I'll tell you what to do. That's just not the way I operate. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys like it too. Um, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what that looks like on a paperback. It's one thing too to see it on a thumbnail and see it in the ebook version, but I'm looking forward to like holding that in my hand uh, and seeing what it looks like on a paperback. I think it's going to be really really cool. So again, that's primarily what I've been working on is covers. Just trying to get covers done because I don't have a lot of what we're releasing right now are re-releases. So books that have been previously published by other publishers where the publisher went out of business or the rights reverted back to the author. Um, so now it's my chance to bring those books back out, which means they don't usually need much work, with the actual text. They're, you know, hopefully already proofread and all that. So that really is just a matter of reformatting it for re-release and coming up with a new cover. This particular one from Ray Tabler is actually a brand new release by him. So uh, he's got a couple other books out, and through my previous publishing house. I wasn't there when he got published, but I know he's got a couple out from them. So yeah, looking forward to it. So Tooch, what you bringing to the shop hop tomorrow? What you got any inside tips of the little secrets of what you might be bringing? I'm guessing that obviously some of that is going to be 3D stuff, because you do really cool 3D stuff. I'm starting to see it pop up everywhere. There's a Lonnie and Candace who do shed flips. The shed flips YouTube channel. I noticed that they're doing some kind of 3D printed birdhouses. There's one that looks like a diner. They were really kind of cool. I was like, wow, that's. I don't know if they download the pattern from somewhere, uh, or if they've created on their own. But it blows my mind what can be created in with 3D stuff now. And I'm following a few people now who own 3D print farms, and they show you these giant rooms that have, something like 20, 30 printers that are all lined up on shelves and going at any given time. I'm like, I wish I had that kind of creative power. I wish I had an idea of how all that works. All new 3D stuff, repurposing mason jar projects. Mason jar is one of the most useful, God, the things you can do with mason jars. Uh, Michael says I haven't checked out Lonnie in years. He's one of the originals on YouTube. Yeah. Um, there's a few people that I say, I wouldn't have made it through the pandemic uh, if I hadn't had certain people I was following, and Lonnie was one of those. Um, Following on shed flips, uh, it kept me from going crazy. But I just I like that they're just very kind of down home and honest and normal people, and they're not trying to play up being influencers or anything like that. Two trip to five printers. Oh my goodness. Obviously, you must have a lot of work to that's keeping you busy with it. But holy crud, what are you doing to? Are they all in one room? And if so, what are you doing to keep that room cool? From everything I've uh, seen on these shows about the print farms, uh, uh, I hear they run really hot and they can really heat up the room. Resell Rabbit. You know what? I'm subscribed to him. I don't really follow him a lot, but I'm always interested uh, when he puts together his big sales. The ones that are open to the public that he does like 3 big days of discounting. Those always fascinate me. But he's also it's interesting. The more you watch of resellers, and people and YouTubers, you realize just how many people either A are autistic, B have ADHD, or C both of the above. Um, and you're like, wow, I don't feel so alone in the world anymore. That was one of the I remember thinking that was one of the first things I thought about Resell Rabbit. I was like, oh, he and I have a lot of the exact same ticks. We do things very much the same way. Let's see. Uh, Tooch says in 2 rooms, the Bamboo Labs printer is not too bad in printing with PLA. It's not that high temps. What the other is called TP? What is the other one called? T. I can't remember. I can't remember what the other kind of thread is called. TP something. Um, I'm a big fan of BattleBots, and TPU. Is that it? TPU. I'm a big fan of BattleBots, and then there's also the what is it? The North something Machine League. I can't remember. There's a big YouTube channel with those kind of robot wars somewhere in the Northeast, and I noticed that nowadays they're making their battle bots out of uh, they're making a lot of the battle bots pieces out of TPU, um, which is which I find fascinating. Which is cheaper to work with, Tooch? Is it cheaper to work with TPU, or is that the higher priced material? It seems to me that the TPU would be, if they're putting in if they're able to use it for things like battle bots, it must be the more expensive stuff. And do you create all of your designs yourself? Like, do you have 3D modeling software that you go into and design your models, or are you adapting existing designs for yourself? Like, one guy that I watch who he actually has a retail location, um, where he designs stuff for customers, but then he also like 3D prints stuff to have available for sale on the shelf, and he sells filament. But I mean, I watch him sit down with his rendering software. I'm like, I am not an engineer. I don't know how you figure this stuff out. Like, it is way above my pay grade. This is why I always this is why I always say, if there's experts in the field, you leave stuff to the experts. Um, there's a reason why there's a reason why I don't have certain degrees, and why you learn to pay people that do. But I'm always impressed by how fast you come up with these design ideas, and I'm just wondering 78% created by me and some other creators. We share our files and help each other. That's so cool. That's really awesome. That's the kind of collab that I think really, really helps small business. I think when you're trying to develop stuff, if people are uh, willing to work together and create that stuff, that's the key. I Everybody should have a chance to be able to have an opportunity to sell, and if you've got a talent or a skill that would help somebody else benefit and get better at what they do, collab is really such a great thing. I'm kind of doing that right now with someone who, we're kind of trading skills. She's helping me uh, with some marketing stuff, and in return, I'm helping her navigate some of the publishing stuff. Um, but being able to leverage the people that are around you uh, for shared knowledge is really, really huge. I'm just completely blown away though by not only what's available in 3D printing, but how fast that has all grown from, the really basic stuff that, they did in the beginning, to some of the really extravagant stuff they're able to come up with now. And that window of expansion, when you talk about innovation, and like the time period between when we didn't have refrigeration and we got to refrigeration, and then that sort of innovation that kept, air conditioning, everything that kind of kept coming, where there were something like there would be these 10 and 15-year cycles of innovation that it would take to get from the initial product to the streamlined version that we use now. For example, the typical innovation cycle was something like 10 to 15 years. And then as we got into the 50s and the 60s, and uh, computers started coming in, that innovation cycle started shrinking, so that we were able to innovate and expand faster. Now, an innovation cycle can be 6 months to go from something you had only just heard of to you know bonkers, off the wall new uses that you never would have thought would be possible in such a ridiculously short period of time. Tooch says, when I started, I promised myself that I want to be different than just articulated dragons and dragon hex that everyone is selling. That really was everywhere uh, in the beginning. It really was. You're not lying. That was definitely true. want to stand out from others in 3D market, which is more and more crowded. So, do you ever see yourself possibly moving out of reselling and into doing just 3D, or are you always going to have a you think you'll always have the passion for the reselling? I mean, you've you're you've got such a broad base of interests, and it shows every time you have an auction with the kinds of things that you bring to auction. Um, so clearly you have a bunch of different passions, and I'm just wondering, how do you balance all those? Like, do you feel more fulfilled by one than the other? So like, if you're working on your 3D stuff, does that give you more of a sense of accomplishment than when you're just reselling stuff? I okay, so you like the sourcing aspect. You like the hunt. You like the thrill of the hunt, of finding the stuff. And I I can understand that. I can absolutely see that. Michael says the digital age has changed everything. It's only speak up. Yeah, I mean, it's just I think it's really. I was working for Apple retail, when I'm trying to think if it was the first iPad that came out or was the second iPad that came out. And now I look at where we are now. I mean, I was there before the MacBook Air came out. Um, Now I look at that technology, and it's crazy to me. It's how fast it goes. Um, Uh, Tooch says sourcing and creating fulfills me. The other stuff just lets me do it. Exactly. Or until you can do it full time, right? Um, that's me with the publishing. That's where my passion lies. That's what fulfills me. Um, the day job is just that. It's a job. I mean, it doesn't even have benefits. So, I mean, it's literally a 40-hour paycheck, and that's really all there is to it. Um, but I've been doing it for almost 10 years, so I want to hit at least the 10-year mile marker, but it doesn't fulfill me anywhere near as close as to what doing all the publishing stuff does. Michael says balance. What's that? Yeah, um, I certainly suck at the work-life balance part of it. Um, I I think I put a little bit too much effort into the day job, too much concern about the day job for what I get out of it. Um, I I'm not saying I need to care less about it, but I think I've made it too much of a priority for a job whose only benefit is, a weekly paycheck. If I'm gonna, I feel like if I'm going to exert that much energy, then I need to put that into the publishing business and a little bit less into the day job, and let that be the job. Uh, Hello, Carol, my love. You and this Cameron Hughes thing, boy, you are on. I can't necessarily disagree. I saw the video. I can't necessarily disagree, but boy, you have got me pinged. Tooch, when you got some time, Jay, I have a bunch of publishing questions. I have two bucket list passion projects that I don't know enough to pursue. Hey, you know what? Anytime, sir. Always happy to make time for you, my brother. Um, that's what I do. Uh, I've also took over the presidency this month of the Writers and Publishers Network, which is a big nonprofit organization for, well, writers and publishers and everybody working in the industry. So that's one of the things I love to do is education, and I love to help people get those questions answered. Carol, my love, what are you up to? What's new with you? I know you're going to be on the train shop hop tomorrow as well. Looking forward to having you there. I'm actually going to be off for once on a Saturday, so I get to follow the shop hop all day long, which is something I never get to do. So I'm excited to do that. Are you all geared up and ready? Have you got your craziness installed and ready to go? Because we love you, and we love and having you around on anything is always a good time. Michael says, Carol, you're in love with all men, but especially her husband, At least one thing you can definitely say is she is faithful. She may love it, as they used to say in Georgia, it's okay to bark at the cars as long as you don't get off the porch. So there you go. She can bark at all the cars she wants to. By the way, I guess we all kind of need to hunt down Mark this weekend uh to get him happy birthday wishes. I don't know if he's going to be on the air uh at all between now and Sunday for us to be able to drop into a show to wish him a happy birthday. Um, Chooch, were you on originally from the beginning of the shop hops? Have you been on that for a year, or did you come in later? It seemed I got the impression you've been with it since the beginning. And Carol, it's good to have you back. I also hope you're feeling a lot better. Um, we miss you when you're not around. Oh, you were there from the beginning, Tooch. I'm trying to think when I guess November was the first one I did. Is that right? I think the first one I did was in November. That would make sense. It was about that timing, somewhere around October, November. Um, yeah, I'm being caboose the whole time. Well, see that it's like a relay race, man. You put your best person in that last position to to bring it all home and win the race. Um, when Johnny figured out my spot, I was like, "Oh, can I keep that spot always?" So I'm the lead into Tooch, because that would make me very happy. So that's why we've always stayed in the same spot, so I can lead into you. Um, I'm I'm still trying to figure out how this is going to work for me for having to go to pre-recorded instead of doing it live. I mean, the interview part of it is easy enough to do, but uh, in terms of being able to sell a book, I guess I'm gonna have to have a jot form or something that's going to be that I can put in the comments, because obviously I don't sell the way everybody else does, and I don't have a limited supply. I mean, anybody that wants to order can. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to make that work on a pre-recorded show. Carol says, "I am. Thank you. I got a good report from doctor today. I won't need another shot since I'm doing all the right things." Good job, Miss Carol. It's not like you to listen to people. It's not like you to follow directions. Um, but I'm really glad. I'm really really glad. Now, see, Tooch, I can't do that either. Because of moving the schedule up by an hour, I can't get out of work early enough on Saturdays to make it home and be able to jump in for the live because of the time slot. And of course, there's no time slots after me other than you. So if I want to keep doing it, I don't have much of a choice but to do a pre-recorded. But there's no way for me to be able to get home and be able to be live in the chat. It's just one of those disadvantages of being 3 hours earlier uh, than the rest of the shop hop, by being in Vegas. So I'll have to. I mean, I'm sure there's a solution. I've got time until the show in August, so I'll have to figure out something that works, because I don't really want to give it up. Um, Premieres are recorded with live chat. Huh. How does that work? You wonder I wonder how that works. Friend sent me some cream for the pain. It's called Oprava, and it's amazing. Gets into the nerves to deaden the pain. You know what else does, Carol? Weed. I live in Vegas, baby. Out here we get our medicine where down at the local corner shop. Um, I I have never done. Okay, I can't say that. Oh, I've never done. I've never had an edible. I've never smoked ganja. Um, I have had CBD and some THC lozenge type of things, uh, but I can't say that I've ever done the hard stuff. Makes you crazier than you are. Oh my goodness, That's a whole lot of crazy. Uh, I'm not sure any of us can handle that. That would be like Carol times three. Um, I mean, one of you's awesome, but three might just be enough for therapy for all of us. Tooch, I'm curious about this. Premieres are recorded with live chat. I'm thinking that I was just going to record my interview, schedule it as a premiere, but again, when it premieres, I can't be there. I can't be. Everybody else will be in the live chat watching the premiere, but I can't be there for that. So I'm wondering if you mean that it's recorded somehow ahead of time with the live chat, but that wouldn't that mean that I'd have to tell everybody when I'm doing it? So I'm a little confused. You set it as a premiere and it plays at the time chosen with a live chat that you don't have to be in where everyone can chat. You'll see tomorrow. Right, right. The problem is like with for those people that do the go that way, they can at least say, hey, here's number five. If you want to buy number five, put in the chat you want number five, and then you can go back and play the chat later and you've got the information. In this case, because um, we're not going to have a limit on the number of books and anybody can order it, and I would have to capture everybody's shipping info and all of that information. I can't really do that in a live because I can't really do that in a premiere with a live chat because then people would be having to put their personal information or something in the chat. So I can create a jot form, but I'll have to put the link to the jot form in the show notes. Otherwise, I don't think anybody would see it and they would have no way to order the book. And I would pin that as a comment in the chat, but because I won't be here, I can't put that link in the chat unless I have somebody else who can post it for me when I'm not there. That's the confusing part to me. Carol says I bumped into a drag queen friend of mine in the liquor store today. Steve was right there and we were all over each other. Um, I why am I not why am I not A, why am I not surprised you were in a liquor store? And B, why am I not surprised you bumped into a drag queen in a liquor store? That just sounds like a very Carol story. You can pin a jot form to the premiere chat and description. So when I record the show, pin the jot form, and then when it plays as a premiere, wait, while I'm recording the premiere, pin the jot form in the chat, even though nobody's in the chat. And then when it goes to play as the premiere, people will see the jot form pin there. Is that what you're telling me? Because if that's the case, well, yeah, that could work. I had already planned on putting it in the description. You can be in the chat from your phone or anywhere. I can't though because I'm going to be at work. That's the problem. I'm going to be at work at the time that our time slot is. So I wouldn't be able to. I'm not going to be able to jump in. I'll be on the clock. And as much as I would love to cheat and be sitting there at work and joining in on the show and all that stuff, I gotta stick to, I believe that if I got to dance with the one that brought me. So if they're telling me I need to, if I'm on the clock, I'm gonna do what I gotta do on the clock and not be a bad boy. Chat replay and comments after premiere. Yeah. Um, well, Michael, I think what you're saying solves my problem in that if I record it and the jot form goes into the chat while I'm recording the premiere, then that pretty much solves the problem. I could still have it in the I could still have it in Carol, I work at Harry Reid International Airport, here in Las Vegas. I have a boss that owns a couple retail locations in the airport, and I handle the behind the scenes stuff. I handle a lot of the ordering, um, a lot of the financial stuff, financial reporting, all that kind of thing. So I'm not actually in the stores working. I'm a behind the scenes guy in the warehouse uh, and office stuff. Um, uh, well, I appreciate that, Tooch, and I may take you up on that. Again, this will be starting in August because this month will be because I'm on my vacation. Uh, I'll be able to be there tomorrow. We're doing it live tomorrow. Um, just it feels more natural to me to do live. I don't know why. Pre-recorded just feels weird to me, but I think it's because I'm used to working in radio. Uh, Chat should be open. Form. Awesome. I didn't know it worked that way, so that's terrific. That will certainly solve. By the way, I meant to tell you, Michael, I love your new icon for your YouTube channel. I think it's awesome. Uh, well, Carol, I've been doing it. Come October, I'll have worked for this man for 10 years. Um, I quit back at the end of 1999 to pursue my notary business. And then, the world kind of blew up in 2020. I was busy as hell because everybody needed a notary and everything was shut down. So I was busy as heck. But, with the airport shut down, his businesses were shut down. And in 2021, when he reopened, um, I offered to come back temporarily to help him get the stores back up off the ground and reopened. But, 2021 turned into 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I still, I still want to get out of there. I mean, the whole goal is to get to publishing full time, having the publishing house and my other side stuff be able to pay all the bills. Um, right now, it's a job that doesn't quite pay the bills. Um, it's I don't make enough from that job to cover anything, to cover everything. So, and it's certainly not my passion. So I do it for the paycheck, and hopefully at some point I will be able to walk away from it and focus on the stuff I really want to do. Uh, ooh, a special guest. A special guest. Is it a pony? Are you bringing a pony? We are going to start having so we are going to start having guests on the night shift. I've invited and if any of you guys ever want to be my guest on the night shift and come in and talk about how you got started in reselling and what it's like to run your business, I'd very much like to have you guys uh, as guests. um, Typically would be anywhere from half an hour to an hour, just talking about your background and what got you into it. Because the idea with the night shift is it's Mondays and Wednesdays it's supposed to be about sort of bringing together communities of people who are running their side hustles or running even their main business, but are doing their own thing. Um, and I think when people get to hear from other people who are in the same situation, there's a lot of inspiration that can happen there. We talk a lot. Johnny's show is very, very positive uh, and really gets you thinking about being in a positive attitude and the way you approach things. But my vision for the night shift is to direct more of it into sort of professional capacity of being able to talk about our businesses and how we run them and what we do and what we've learned. Um, Carol, I so first of all, Tooch, you're I would love to have you. Let me know if there's a Monday or a Wednesday that works well for you. It's the same time slot. Carol, I would love to have you as a guest, because I do not restrict my show. Um, my show, everything goes. So I don't restrict language. I don't, I believe in people being able to just be themselves. So as crazy as you would want to get, you would be perfectly entitled to do it. And Michael, I think you would have a lot to offer, um, to people to talk about, especially with your music creation. And basically, I mean, you have your hand in so many different pies that I think you would be. Uh, I think you would be really, really an interesting guest to have on the show. So I honestly, I would love to have, I would love to schedule all three of you to be on the show. And um, I'm gonna ask Johnny. I know it's hard for him to stay up past his bedtime, um, but I think a lot of people know Johnny for. Uh, it's funny. I think a lot of people know Johnny more from a personal standpoint than they do from a business standpoint. But he's really, really clever, really, really smart, really dialed in. For the time that I was co-hosting the show, uh, we had some really good conversations before the show, about business, and he's savvy as heck. So I would very much love to have you guys. Drop me an email. My email's there on the screen. Uh, you can either send it to the night shift at mistymedia.com or email me at jhartman at mistymedia.com. Let me know if a Monday or a Wednesday works better for you, or either one, and we'll get people scheduled. Um, it won't be for selling, but it'll be for exposure. It'll be a chance for you guys to talk about yourselves and what's important to you. And would really love to. I've made so many great connections and met so many awesome people in the reseller community on YouTube that I'm gonna reach out to Lonnie and Candace and see if they might be willing to come on the show as well from Shed Flips. Um, uh, I also want to talk to Commonwealth Flipper and see if maybe he'll come on as well. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? You reach out to people, you ask, they either say yes or no. Um, and the good thing is I have a history of working in the news department and radio, so I'm used to chasing people down for interviews. But I think I do want to grow the show, and I'm still very much inspired by Mike Andes, who, if you guys don't follow him, it may or may not be your cup of tea, but uh, I've learned a lot from him, and I want to give back. I've got 40 plus years of retail and retail management experience, and um, I've run two publishing houses, uh, so I know a lot about business, and I'm surrounded by people like you guys that know a lot about business and what you're doing in yours, and everybody does theirs different. So, uh, it would be really, really awesome. Michael, my whole problem is I don't really know how to reach out to these people to ask. Like I agree with you. I think Kevin probably would, but I just don't know like how to even reach out to them. I mean, yeah, it's the whole thing. Yeah, I guess their email address or whatever is on their YouTube channel, but they're probably getting tons of emails. Like, how do you even know you'll get seen? Vegas Matt was one that I reached out to wanting to publish his biography, and autobiography. I never even got a response. Carol says to start off losing weight has been good, but no one tells you about boob changes. I have one hung low. Cup sizes sure changed. One's a D, the other one's a C. Well, if I'm not mistaken, aren't for most women, don't most women have two different size boobs? This is what my sisters told me. I grew up with all sisters. Um, and I was always told that that women don't have the same size boobs. Now, mind you, I have zero experience with breasts, other than my own. I can tell you that, yeah, I'm pretty sure mine aren't the same size. That's what I always heard. Uh, Chooch says, I've been enjoying the show so far. It's awesome break from auction content. I appreciate that. It's we're having a lot of fun, Linda and I, on the show that we do every other Tuesday, where we kind of pick a publishing topic and address it from sort of the publisher and author side of things. But I really, there's the night shift is one of those things that was kind of like my private passion that I really wanted to try out and see if I could get people interested in it. It's been a slow build. I'm not going to lie. We don't have the audience yet that I want to have, but it's going to grow. The more people hit the thumbs up and share and all that stuff, and the more guests I get on, you guys all have followings and people that love you, and they're going to be more than happy to tune in and see what you have to say. So I think that'll help too. And I mean, honestly, the reseller community has done so much to build up Misty Media's presence on YouTube and have people discover us. I wouldn't be anywhere near. I mean, I'm at 309 subscribers. Some people would think that's a lot. Some people wouldn't. Personally, I think it's a lot. And I know I wouldn't be there without the reseller community. So I really appreciate it. Well, Michael, she's already established she's got a friend that's a drag queen, right? Like, I mean, if there's anybody that should be able to give her advice on how to get the boobies in order, I would think it would be a good drag queen. It is funny though, where you do end up losing weight when you get on the weight loss stuff. When they put me on the Ozempic for my blood sugar, I mean, I'm on it honestly for diabetes, not for weight loss, but and it's done wonders for both. I mean, my blood sugar, I take very little insulin now from what I used to take, and drop the weight as well, which I'm never going to complain about. But yeah, I remember when I was starting to lose the weight with the Ozempic, and I was like, it's coming off of places I didn't necessarily need to lose it. Keep at it. We all know the building process. Imagine doing an auction to 3 people until you get stuff. I can't even imagine. I mean, Johnny was freaking out a little this morning when the count dipped down to 9, and I'm like, 9? I would love to have 9 people simultaneously. But I know I know there's people that I've tuned into some auctions where late I show up late for the show, and it's like they're in their second hour or whatever, and there's only 4 people left, and I just feel bad. Like, I feel really guilty about it. But yeah, I know it's one of those things you gotta keep at it. I have one of those personalities that's like, oh, if it isn't an instant success, I must be doing something wrong, because I just hold myself to a really impossible standard, which is not right and not healthy. And at least I can recognize that part of it. Doesn't mean I'm going to change anything or how I handle it, but that's how I've always felt about it. Well, again, guys, please do email me, preferably at the jhartman@mistymedia.com. Let me know when you'd like to be on the show. Would love to have you, and have you on as guests. And I want to schedule those out as far in advance as I can. And I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there for the Friday Night Hang. Boy, that hour goes by fast. I'm just a firm believer in not doing crazy long episodes. I know that there's folks out there that do like 2, 3, 4 hours. Yeah, attention span theater. I know people don't necessarily have that much attention span to be able to stay around longer than that. And if you don't have 3 hours worth of stuff to say, no reason to drag it out just for the sake of it. After all, I'm not monetized. It's not like the longer somebody watches, the more I get paid. We'll get there eventually too. But love you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Have yourselves a good night. I'll see a lot of you on the shop hop tomorrow, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for hanging here at the diner, and we'll see you on the night shift.